Leviathan is the story of a fisherman who fights back when a corrupt mayor tries to seize possession of his ancestral home. It's also a brutal indictment of government corruption and another statement about Russia's collective moral decline. Although it claimed many awards, including a Golden Globe, the film divided audiences upon its national release for its governmental criticism. The film is a cinematic interpretation of the biblical character Job set in modern Russia. The main character, Nicholas, is representative of the working class. Its shocking and brutal depiction of the crushing weight of corruption in Russia is fascinating. Loveless is a Russian drama film about a couple going through a vicious divorce marked by resentment and frustration, even if it means threatening to abandon their 12-year-old son, Alyosha. Until, after witnessing one of their fights, Alyosha disappears. The movie has a lot of connotations about the life and times of Russia, conservative social norms of Christianity, and how when a marriage breaks down, it means doom for everyone. The movie literally broke me up, and I was in a state of shock once it ended, the last scene with an open ending tore me up. It made me think what not to do, and that for me was the biggest strength of this movie. This movie standed a strong chance for many awards, and deservedly so. The Peasant has become the highest-grossing domestic film in the history of Russian cinema. Only the 2009 Hollywood blockbuster Avatar grossed more in Russia. The film is about a spoiled rich boy who is sent back in time to be a lowly peasant, basically a serf, in a poor pre-revolutionary Russian village. He doesn't know that he is actually in an elaborate set with actors, all organized and funded by his rich father, who wants to teach him a lesson. While the film has received generally positive reviews for its production and execution, some question its conflicting messages regarding violence and humor. The film's tendency to downplay brutality and reward violent behavior, arguing that the film's label as a family comedy discounts the severity of the portrayed violence. This sentiment was echoed by other reviewers.
The Postman's White Nights. It tells the story of the people of a remote Russian village, whose main contact with the outside world is a postman. The only way to reach the mainland is to cross the lake by boat, and a postman became the only connection with the outside world. A reserved community has been set up here. There is neither government nor social services or jobs. The postman's beloved woman escapes the village life and moves to the city. Postman's outboard engine gets stolen, and he can no longer deliver mail. The postman makes a decision to leave for the city too, but returns before long with no certain reason. The script is based on real character stories. People from the village play their own parts in the film. Nikolai Lebedev brings to the screen his latest blockbuster, Legend Number 17. Based on a true story, the film tells of the victories and deprivation of ice hockey great Valery Kharlamov. Kharlamov became a legend of the game whilst still playing. He stepped out onto the ice and became Legend Number 17. The year was 1972, Montreal, Canada. The Soviet team smashed the Canadian NHL Superstars in the first match of the inaugural Super Series between the USSR and Canada. And it was a battle of nations, which changed forever the standing of ice hockey in world sport. From this day forward, the whole world would refer to Kharlamov as number 17. Lebedev has assembled an all-star cast to bring to the screen the thrilling and exciting blockbuster sports drama that is Legend Number 17. One of Russia's biggest ever box office blockbusters. What do men talk about? The movie is hilarious and entertaining. I was surprised that I enjoyed this film. Four old friends, Kamil, Lesha, Sasha and Slava, all well-to-do professionals in their late 30s, embarking on a 2-day road trip from Moscow to Odessa. They wish to escape the metropolis and the everyday routine of work, family and girlfriends to relax in a nightclub run by Slava's friend, and to see the popular band V2 show. Russian film critics was overwhelmingly positive. It received no negative reviews, and rated 8.9/10 on average. Lots of nice humor, and some good friendships in it. Silent Souls is a remarkable, and remarkably beautiful Russian film, dealing with both grief and identity, but in a manner that is both uplifting, and almost surrealistically comic. The plot is both simple and minimalist. A man's wife has died, and he wishes to take her body to be buried in the spot where they had spent their honeymoon, and in the custom of their race, but he does not want to involve the authorities, so he enlists the help of a colleague, the film's narrator and its central character, and it becomes a road movie unlike any other. An outstanding film that certainly doesn't deserve to get away. Silent Souls even received considerable praise from film critics.
Steel Butterfly.
Chuma, a homeless teenager who escapes from an orphanage and engages in robberies with other young mobsters in Moscow. I like the movie pace, not action after action and not too many philosophical dialogues at the same time. Like the way a story was portrayed, quite realistic homeless children and cops, maybe just a bit sweeter and nicer than real Russian police. Despite the fact that it was marked as 16+, I was pleased that there were no abusive or over the limit scenes, enough to intrigue and enough not to distract spectators' focus from the main idea. Viewer might get teary eyes at the end. Through our life, we constantly have to make choices and face their consequences. How I ended this summer. Two men at a remote Arctic base begin mistrusting each other after an important radio message. A film showing two men, one a young student, getting the chance to work at this outpost in Arctic Circle, with the other a older veteran at this game, who is very much set in his ways, and certainly to getting the job there right. But when Pavel the younger one gets a incoming message concerning the older Sergei, concerning the family, he is at odds whether to tell him about it. The film is well played and the setting looks bleak, especially when events escalate. Good performances from the two equal leads, in a screen count of 2, and a interesting journey to the end. The Return. A brutal, complex, and at the same time nurturing relationship is brilliantly presented. A couple of young kids are jubilant and excited that the father they never personally knew, but only existed, has come back to the first time in their lives. The father, who appears cold and non-violently brutal, decides to take them on an expedition. As expected and anticipated, at some point the relationship with their father reaches a breaking point, and all hell breaks loose in unimaginable ways. The way the kids deal with the situation imposed on them is emotional, yet bold, and appears shocking for the viewer. The locales, cinematography, direction, camera work, acting and music has been brilliant. This movie will make you really speechless.